As the leader of the Booner Pad, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. It's Monday, November 17th. After a Lions loss to the Eagles, we're going to talk about all of that in Campbell's post-game presser, the players talking to the media. We'll give our thoughts now the morning after a very, very tough loss to a very good team in the Philadelphia Eagles. On the road, the Lions officially dropped to 6-4. They are third in the NFC North. We keep pushing on, Boone. It's that was a tough one. I'm not gonna lie, tough one to watch, tough loss to kind of digest, especially throughout the entirety of the game. I mean, the Lions kind of having more third down issues pop up. I know the Eagles weren't great on third down either, but overall the game was just absolutely disgusting. They were 3 for 18 on third and fourth down. They only scored 9 points, left some points out there. Couldn't convert any fourth down attempts. Jared Goff was 14 of 37. They ran the ball for 3.5 a carry. It just
70 yards.
Yeah, Amon-Ra, 2 catches, 12 targets. I mean, the only thing positive from that game was what they did defensively, despite them being in some tough positions. So we'll talk about all that today. But where are you at? Just, I guess, feeling wise.
Yeah, I mean,
just as bad the next morning. Where are you at?
I think it's the same as everyone else. Disappointing. I told you what I got on here. It's like this Lions team's actually 6-4. You were expecting, I think, this season 4 to 6 losses, and I mean, you have 7 games right now left of the season, and you essentially go 10-7, you have to finish the season 4-3. And last night was one of the more disappointing, to where it's like, hey, if you want any sort of momentum going into the last half of the season, last night probably wasn't what you wanted. That was probably one of the worst performances we've seen in a while. Defensively, excuse me, Tom, my voice is just leaving my body, by the way. It's gone. I don't know what's happening there. But defensively, I mean, that was the best that we've seen defensively. I mean, you said it multiple times last night, and we're going to get into it throughout the show. That was a Super Bowl defense. Looked incredible. And that was with, you're down 2 of your top corners. You're down your best safety. You're down defensive lineman. And that defense stepped up in a big way on the road. Even though I do believe, the Eagles' offense wasn't what everyone says it is. So I do but either way, defensive performance was good. The other side of things, though, that was where it was a little... I'll say this, I think, I don't know who said it last night or who mentioned it. It might have been the doc when I was driving home. I listened to the doc my whole hour drive home. The doc was live the whole time, and I loved every minute of it because that man is something else. But I think it was him or it was a comment, but until Dan Campbell figures out how to be able to adjust in game planning. Me and you actually haven't said this in a long time, Jeff. But we talked about this a couple years ago. Being able to coach certain games certain ways, not coaching it. Not coaching the exact same way every single time, right? You have to be able to know when, hey, this is this type of game. This is this type of game. And that doesn't mean you can't not be aggressive. If Dan wanted to go for it in certain times last night, I think you're all for it. And I think a lot of people are all for it. It's Dan Campbell. I don't think Lions fans and people hate that. But you have to be able to read the moment. And it's just the moment last night was, hey, there's 25 total points in this game. 3 points is a touchdown, essentially, in a low-scoring game. And you have to be able to know when to do it. And he just constantly just kind of goes away from it. And I know there's going to be people today in the media and fans that are going to be like, well, that's what Dan's about. You're either live or die by Dan. And no, not necessarily. You could still go for it on fourth downs, but also be smart in specific moments, especially versus a team that it's a gritty win, right? And I think he messed up in that. And I think maybe he will be one to tell you. He has a press conference later this afternoon. I'm sure after a day of sitting on everything, I can guarantee you Dan Campbell's probably going to be like, yeah, looking back at it, 40-something yarder, probably should have kicked it. Inside the 5, probably should have just kicked it. JMO, maybe just don't jump and attach to a pole. Then maybe, it's a tie football game and you're in a way better spot. So it just, I would have to say if this loss from the Lions falls on anyone, I think it's Dan Campbell, specifically. And he actually, like yesterday, and we're going to talk about it, he seemed last night more like I loved how he played than I thought he would. To be honest.
The only unit you can praise is the defense. I mean, they stopped the tush push a couple times. We'll praise the defense. There is a positive in this game. It is the defense, because that's a Super Bowl defense. So we'll talk more about that. But there's nothing really to praise offensively. This is 9 points is one of the lowest games they've had in a long time.
And 9 is crazy. Single digits for this Lions offense is insane.
It's just very it's to your point. The problem I had last night and the problem I still have today is exactly what you just said. I said it on the post-game show. It comes, and Dan Campbell is a very good head coach. Okay, he is, but people. And it's odd to me that they defend, it's like the Dan Gamble stuff when there hasn't been any success from it in terms of like a Super Bowl or making a Super Bowl. It's okay to critique it because we haven't seen it lead to, hosting a trophy. So, I think at times it's okay to be like, all right, 4th down. They had the game against the Packers last year where he's like, I want to end the game with the ball. Let's go for it on 4th down. There's certain instances where you're like, okay, that makes sense. It's a higher scoring game. Your defense is injured. Okay, that makes sense. This game to me was not the game. You go for it on 4th down. What? How many times they go for it on 4th down?
It was four times, and then the one was
5 times, and then the last
5 with the punt.
With the punt. So that was not the game to go for it on 4th down. I mean, this is one of those games where points are a premium. And we've talked a lot about this. We were talking a lot about this on the broadcast. 3 points are going to be the difference. And when you're passing on 3 repeatedly or giving the Eagles offense, to your point, which is already struggling, a short field or half the field, you're just putting your own defense at a disadvantage. Although I thought they held up very well, it's just not an ideal spot. I mean, turnover, obviously you can't turn the ball over. This is a game where turnovers are going to matter. Jared Goff's interception led to 3. The fake punt, I believe, led to 3. You giving them short fields, they're going to eventually capitalize on it. So it's just, Dan Campbell definitely deserves some blame for this loss. Jared Goff deserves some blame for this loss. The O-line does. We'll talk about all of it, but I agree with your point. It's like, at least you can say the NFC Championship game, which they lost a 17-point lead, that was a higher scoring game. And, there was times where Dan was kind of, he gets into these modes sometimes in big games where he kind of gets like, all right, we should go for it because it's my identity, but is it probably the right thing to do? I don't know. And he talked about it in his post-game press conference where he's like, listen, it's just who I am. You could argue I should have been more conservative, but that's just who we are as a team. It's our identity.
Listen,
which it's like, you gotta be a chameleon. You gotta be a chameleon.
Yeah, you really do. But I don't even think like last night, I don't mind some of the 4th down calls. I even said it in the first or second possession. It was 4th and 6, and they were out there to try and get him jumped off sides. It was on the opposite side of the 50, right? I wouldn't have been mad if they tried to kind of set the tone of the game and go for it there. I think it's just a picking and choosing, right? If you actually are in a position where Jake Bates has an opportunity to kick a field goal, you kick it. Now, the 4th down calls where they weren't and they were kind of around the 50 and you knew your defense was stepping up, those are the ones that I as much don't care about. I can deal with that because that's what Dan has been about. Let's keep a drive extended, right? It's the ones where you knew that this is going to be a battle of a game. You knew it. And you put you have your kicker who, I'll say this, and I'll just call a spade a spade. You said it last night. You said he's one of the best kickers in the game. Jake Bates this year has not been good. He hasn't been. You don't have a good kicker really right now. He's 30-something in the NFL in kicking percentage, and you can argue, it's because there's a lot of 50-plus yarders. He's struggled, and I think maybe there is a side to where the last few weeks he's had those low kicks, and he has struggled trying to fix that. They've had multiple blocks now. They've struggled kicking. So maybe in Dan's mind, this is something we haven't talked about yet, but maybe in Dan's mind, he thought, hey, like, I don't want to go fully in with Jake. Like, I know he's been struggling. He hasn't been what he was the last few years. And he's had a couple blocks the last couple weeks. And if you listen to Dave Phipp's press conference last week, Dave Phipp essentially just put it on Jake Bates and was like, he's got to get his technique down. Like, he's kicking the ball too low, and he's the reason it's getting blocked. It's not the guy's blocking. It's no one else. It's him just kicking the ball too low, and the ball's low on takeoff. So maybe there's a world where they felt like they didn't want to put Jake in that position, especially with the wind and how cold it was. That might have been a mindset as well. But again, he kicked 2 field goals yesterday, right? Like, he went out there and kicked 2, and he missed. I think he missed one. Did he not?
No, one was an extra point. Which
he missed. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So he missed an extra point, but that was a 48 something. That was a 48 yarder. So like, you see that, and you're sitting there going, maybe he's just not. I don't know. And but he hit one later in the game, that was a huge one. But again, he missed a 48-yard extra point. And then the last couple of weeks and this year in general, he's been struggling. So I don't know if that's something to where we're back to a couple of years ago where Dan doesn't feel confident in Michael Badgley and he doesn't feel confident in some of those kickers that we've had in the past. And he's like, instead of that, in these bad weather games when there's winds 1,000,000 miles per hour, we're just going to go for it. And maybe that was the mindset that he had last night. If Doc's there today, I could text the Doc to see if he can ask him about that. But that's also something that I guess you can consider. But I'm still at the point where it's like, I get it. You're inside the 5-yard line. You want to try and turn this into 7 points instead of 3 because you feel like if you turn it into 7, you can win the game. But sometimes, again, it's just take it and go, right? And then we can figure this out later. If you have to go for it later, okay, do it. But just take the points, move on, make it a 1-possession game. And I don't know. It definitely was frustrating and specific. I think there was just 2 4th downs where you specifically, 2 out of the 5 specifically where you could have just kicked the field goal, taken the 6, and you would have made it a different football game. And then the other 3, I'm not going to sit here and I'll go with them. You know. By the way,
it just seemed like the difference was last night you had a team in the Philadelphia Eagles which have had a lot of success and they just know how to win these games because they don't beat themselves. They just know how to win these games, and the Lions don't. That's the difference. The Eagles have been there and done that, and they've won Bulls. They've won playoff games. They win games in the regular season. And I know we talked about it last week about the Eagles. It's like, you know, they're having these 1-score games. And it's the way I look at it personally is like they just know how to win. They know how to win games in any type of way. It could be a blowout. It could be a nasty, grimy game. They just did this back-to-back weeks where they don't beat themselves in these games. They just find a way to win. And that's the shit that Dan Campbell and the Lions, it's like, you know, you're going to be in some of these games where it's going to be, you know, it's going to be about field position or time of possession, which the Eagles did a really good job keeping the football last night. And you know, it's going to come down to these kicks. And they did ask Dan and Jared about the wind, and they both said, yeah, it was windy, but it didn't affect Dan said specifically, it didn't affect how I called the game. He said, I wouldn't say the wind affected how I called the game because I thought it was fine. The wind was okay, but maybe it did have to do a little bit with their confidence in Jake Bates. I just think they didn't really give him an opportunity to miss. Like, you know, the extra point he missed, but like he's only attempted 1 field goal and he made it. So I could see if he was like 1 for 2, 1 for 3, and they're like,
yeah, but again, I think it's more so of you could say it's just he made the one in the game. I do think there's some more to it. I think the last few weeks he's struggled a lot. So I think there might be a mindset in that building where they might have been a little nervous, which I think is fair. But again, I think like
that's unfair to be honest because they didn't give him more. He's 4 or 5 this year from 40 to 49. He's missed only 1.
I know, but again, his kicking percentage is like 30th in the NFL, and if you want to go like recently, he has gotten 2 kicks blocked the last 2 weeks because of him. Like it's not like it was anyone else's fault. He's keeping the ball too low, and like Dave Phipp in his last press conference came out and said he needs to work on his technique. So there might, again, I could text the doc to see if he can ask the question today, but there might be a world, and maybe we can get some clarity when Dan talks today. There actually might be a world where they just didn't feel as confident in Jake Bates this week, based off of the last few weeks.
I just think
that's just I'm listening. I'm this is not me saying it. I'm
No,
putting
no,
together
no,
context clues. I'm saying like people in the chat, like I'm putting context clues together. Like I'm not saying Jake Bates is bad or nothing.
Yeah,
This is just based off of like 32nd, I think, or 33rd in the NFL in kicking percentage. And then also at the same day, at the end of the day, like they've recently said he's struggling and he's having like one of the lows of his career so far in Detroit. Like that's not me saying it. That's Dave Phipps saying it.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Like he's had some blocked. I don't think what you're saying is like completely wrong. I just don't think it's like I think the long field goals he's attempted, he's missed. He's 3 for 6 for 50 plus, but everything in front of 50, he's missed one. So like, and I know the wind had an effect for sure, but you got to be. This is what it comes out. If Dan's a former player, you got to show belief in players. It's like if Khalif Raymond drops 5 straight footballs, they're going to keep going back to him. Like you got to give Jake Bates an opportunity. Because once you lose confidence in him, kicker's all about it. It's all a mental position. You don't think they're like, all right, we're just going to give up on Jake Bates. It's like, you got to let this guy at least attempt to get into a rhythm and show he can, bounce back from a struggling half the year or whatever. So I would hope that isn't the case where they just abandon Jake Bates and they're like, all right, we're just going to like go for it 50 plus. But it just seemed like, Dan was just, he got a little too excited. It was a big game. And I think Dan went into it thinking, hey, we got to win this game. Let's put it on the offense or at least try and go and take advantage of these 4th downs. And to be honest with you, I just think it was a bad call for that type of game. It just wasn't the type of game that wasn't that type of game where you just go for it on 4th down. This was one of those grimy games where you take the points when you get them and you just play field position, time of possession. And you know how and this is basically the flow of the game you were hinting at. The offense was not playing well.
No,
so what makes you think they're going to convert some of these 4th and 5s, 4th and 6s?
Exactly. Dan Campbell made a comment too, though, and this is what really kind of it was weird about. Like in the post game, he made a comment, and he was like, "We told the defense like the way you're playing, we got to lean on you." And it wasn't exactly like that, but he essentially said like to the defense, like we have to lean on you tonight. Okay, so if you were leaning on the defense tonight, why weren't you pinning them back with Jack Fox, right? Like why weren't you helping them out a little bit? If you knew this was going to be a defensive game and the defense had to step up, why were you putting the ball into your offense's hands as much as you could, right? Like that was where it's like, and we talked about it last night, and maybe in my mind, remember I said, I think maybe Dan Campbell, his mindset is offensively, we just have to put them away, going into the game with the mindset of that. It was defense. Like he said that it was a defense. Like we were relying on our defense last night. So it's like, if you were relying, why on 4th down did you just say, let's pin them back inside the 10? Because the Eagles did it to you. The Eagles offense was bad. It wasn't like you just had the bad offense. Like the Eagles offense was terrible. Like people like the crazy part about this game, and I think me and you mentioned it like in the second quarter, like Jalen Hurts was 14 for 28. He didn't play good. He threw for 138 yards, right? Like he struggled yesterday. Madden, how many missed targets did Jalen Hurts have? They could not get anything going as well. But what did the Eagles do that the Lions didn't? Instead of throwing the ball after they did like the first 2 quarters when they were just slinging it, they switched it up and started doing quarterback draws, and it was also just giving the ball to Saquon and establishing the run game. And they punted the ball when they needed, right?
Dude, they played for the Eagles.
Yeah, they played field possession game. Can I give some stats too about this run game real quick?
Let me add too right before you say that. The thing that frustrates you is you're giving a struggling offense half the field. So all they essentially have to do is get a 1st down or 2 and then kick a field goal. That's like that. That's why it's a dumb thing to do, because you're basically giving a bad offense half the field, and you're like, all right, just get a 1st down or 2 and then kick a field goal, and you're up 3, or you're going to go up another 3 points. It's like, make them go the entire fucking field, man. It just didn't make sense. But anyway, what do you got? What's the run game?
Doc, hold on. I'm texting the Doc. Doc is going to ask the question. 33rd or something in kick percent. All right, Doc said it's a great question. I think Doc will answer or ask him today for it. So shout out to the Doc. Every time I feel like we've ever asked Doc to ask Dan a question, he's done it. By the way, too, breaking news. Did you see the breaking news just now?
No.
It's not Lions related, but Detroit Pistons related. Cade Cunningham reached a 6-year endorsement agreement to re-sign with Nike. Will receive his own signature shoe line.
Get the Cunninghams.
The Cunninghams. How about that, dude? I wonder. I'm getting a pair for sure.
Shout out to Cade, man. He's the only. I mean, at least I got that going for him.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And Coach Walk, I know Coach Walk saying I have no problem with that because of the win, because the win was so bad. It seemed like
I just wonder if there's a mixture of everything. Listen, I'm not saying anything.
The only team that dealt with the wind. I mean, it's like if we're bringing up the wind, it's like they
Did
literally.
What was? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Jake Elliott was 3 for 3. See, Jeff, I'm telling you,
the wind only affected the Lions.
I know people don't want to hear this. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go pull these stats up just so I can kind of see if this is real. But I know people don't want to hear it. I think there's a world in that building right now. Maybe they don't have over the last few weeks the confidence in Jake Bates right now as people think.
I just hate that. That's sad that you just lose faith in players.
Well, no, I don't think it's, and I don't think it's lose faith, but it's just like it's like with the
give guys a chance to redeem themselves, man.
I agree, but you got to think 2 field goals blocked the last couple of weeks, and they're both because you can't get the ball up. And I don't know if it's where it's like, hey, let's give a guy to redeem himself. Like let's let him work on it, figure this out, and then like they did put him in a position yesterday to kick the 50-yarder, and he nailed it down the middle. So like they did do it, but I do wonder if there was a moment where he missed the extra point in the second quarter, the 48-yarder, and in Dan's head, Dan goes, "Oh no!" Like, "Oh no!"
But I think at that point they already went for it. I think.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think so. I think in the third quarter was when they. I could be wrong. Let me go see. Let's see, because we can. I mean, this is maybe we're discovering something here that no one's discovered yet. Maybe we're.
I think I agree with Coach Rock. I think kicking's mental, and when you give up on your kicker, that
I mean, with Coach Watt, that could be it. Honestly,
that's a bad thing to do as a head coach.
So in the second half, or in the second quarter, he missed that, and then the first possession, he missed the extra point, and then the first possession, Jeff, first possession of the second half, the Lions had the ball at the 32-yard line. 4th and 5, and they go for it on a 4th and 5 at the 32. Instead of letting Jake Bates kick the 49-yarder, he already missed a 48-yarder. They're set up to kick a 49-yarder to make the game 13-9, and they go for it on 4th and 5. Not even like 4th and short, not even 4th and 1. It was 4th and 5, and they don't let Jake Bates kick the field goal. That's like essentially the very next possession after Jake Bates missed the extra point. And then the next possession after that, the very next possession after that, they have the ball at the 3-yard line, 4th down. Instead of letting Jake Bates kick it again, they decide to go for it and try and score a touchdown. So if you just let Jake Bates kick it twice, it's 13-12. Yeah, and yes, there's the missed extra point. You could put that on JMO because of the thing, but maybe there's a world where he missed that 48-yarder, and Dan in his head is like, okay, I don't have confidence right now in my kicker. We got to win the ball or the game a different way. That's just an observation.
I'm not. No, I think it's a good observation.
I think that's actually like a really, and I'm going to text the doc all this to make sure.
If Dan approached it like that, that was a bad decision. I think that was bad on his part. To see one missed kick and say, we're out, we're not kicking. That's like unfortunate that he would lose if that's true, that you would lose faith in a player that quickly. After he's had a couple kicks blocked, but overall in the year, everything 50 plus he's had. I think he's 3 for 6. He's attempted some long 50s, but everything within 50 and shorter, he's missed 1. So, I don't know. That would be weird if that was. I don't think it's a crazy thought. But I would be disappointed if that was the case. It's like, all right, we'll keep that same energy with players that if someone's in a slump, just give up on them then. It's like, what are we doing here? I mean, Jake Bates is one of the best kickers in the entire NFL. He showed that last year. You gotta, especially that position. It's very fragile. That guy, if he loses confidence, that's it. So, but honestly, I think to this comment could be true too. BP down south says, I don't think Dan really cares. I think he just believes his offense will convert. I think there's part of that too, Boone. I think
I do agree.
Believes his offense is going to get first downs, which
that's why it's just like, let's ask Dan, let's have Doc, let's just see what happens. Because it's something that I don't know if that was part of his mindset. maybe he just does have full confidence in that squad, you know, which makes sense. Like, but because in the past, I mean, they are one of the best fourth down converting teams in the NFL. And yesterday was kind of a one-off, and it sucked that was the game that's a one-off.
And also, like, the offensive line, like, it was not good yesterday, obviously. It was not good. And here's the reality, man. Like, Jared Goff is a statue, okay? He's a statue. He can't move. He can't move laterally. He can't do it. So when you have a quarterback that can't move and you can't protect him, he's going to run into some problems. All right? That's just how it goes. And I know I've seen a lot of people pissed off all over social media at Jared Goff when, in fact, you should know what you have in Jared Goff as it is. All right? We should understand that Jared Goff is what he is. He's a very good quarterback when protected. And that's why I think it's on Goff. He didn't play well. But I think this is on Brad Holmes. We talked about this yesterday for not knowing that, or at least not preparing for the O-line. When you know Frank and Zeitler were probably out the door. That's probably my more concern is, like, you know what Jared Goff is. You need to be protected. And I don't think Brad prepared for the exit of Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler good enough. So as much as people want to throw it on Goff, and I get it, he didn't play well. I think Goff's still a very good quarterback. I just think the reality is he's a statue, bro. You have to protect him. And this year they were not prepared for that. They were just not. And which is why I'm frustrated they started going for it on fourth down, because their O-line sucked. So it's like, it's just like, it's like a disadvantage already. You can't protect Goff. You can't run the ball, but let's go for it on 4th and 5, 4th and 4. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, Jared Goff yesterday did not play well, but that O-line sucked. And that's what makes me worried, a big picture when we're talking about, like, winning playoff games and shit. That offensive line is bad. I mean, it's just bad, dude. Tate's actually shown a lot more this year, but he's a rookie. So,
yeah, the one thing that I'm writing that. The one thing I don't like about that is just change it up a little bit. Like if you can't protect Goff in pass pro, like, run the ball. You know what I mean? Just change it up. Because yesterday, like, I just went back in losses, and I don't know if this is something that's just like, you could tell me, Jeff, if you feel, let's call it spade, like the David Montgomery thing that I talked to you about before the show. Like, if you know Jared Goff is struggling and they're getting to the quarterback, and I actually looked it up, like, in their losses, PFF, Jeff, yesterday they haven't released all of the stats for yesterday, but, like, in your losses versus the Vikings, guess how many times he was pressured? 26 times. 26 times. Versus the Packers, 19 pressures. 6 sacks in the Vikings game, 4 sacks in the Packers game. Versus the Chiefs, 11 pressures. It's like the games that you're losing, it's falling back on, like, hey, Jared Goff's just getting pressured a million times. And he's just not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. And I know a lot of people are, like, mad about that. And yesterday I saw a lot of people like, this is on Jared Goff. Anytime there's pressure, he can't play. It's like, okay, then don't allow the pressure. They've done it before. That's how you got to the NFC Championship game, is you protected him. Like, you know he can win when protected.
But that's a tough thing. You got to look at the give you devil's advocate. That's tough because he's going to have games where he's pressured. And to think that they're going to shit the bed when he's pressured is probably not.
But he hasn't always, at the end of the day, though, he hasn't always been, like, terrible. Like, if you limit the pressure, I feel like who's one of the best quarterbacks under a blitz?
There's a difference. Against
I guess if you're blitzing, that you're stopping it. Okay, good call, great call, great call.
Blitz
that's why we're teammates. That's why we're teammates.
I got you. Because I actually, this is, what's funny? The reason why I'm saying that is because I didn't realize this like 6 months ago. I was like, he's one of the best against the blitz, but I'm like, wait, what does he get when he's pressured? One of the worst in the league. He's one of the worst in the league when he's pressured, but he's one of the best against the blitz. So it's like those two things are. If he's protected against the blitz, Boone, he's picking apart defenses. All right, but if you can't protect him against the blitz, he folds. I mean, it's unfortunately how it is. It sucks. But
I'm just waiting for yesterday's. I'm interested to see how many times he was pressured yesterday, and I want to see the grades of these offensive linemen yesterday, because it felt like I know we don't do PFF, like offensive line and pressures. You go PFF because that's probably the best feel for it. I don't know. And the problem too yesterday is, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I told you before the show I was going to bring it up, the David Montgomery thing. it feels like it's getting out of control a little bit. And I don't know. We're not in the building. And me and you, the only times we were in the building was when we were at training camp this year. We were able to go to 7 or 8 of those practices. And the one thing that we talked about was how good D-Mont looked. Like this guy's going to have a career year. Like he looks like he's the best shape in his life. I still believe that. But in the game last night, when it's like, hey, dude, it's a low-scoring game, something you bring up all the time in these games, it's like, hey, like when you lose, it's when Jared Goff throws 40 times. And that guy had 37 pass attempts yesterday. And guess how many times David Montgomery touched the rock? 6 times. He had 6 carries yesterday. 6 carries for 27 yards, 4.5 yards a carry. Like, and it felt like, too, me and you, I mean, we watched the game together. It felt like every time David Montgomery touched the rock, he was running for 5 or 6 yards. Like, every time. And it was just, they just went away from him. And it was the same thing kind of with Gibbs, where they're like, all right, we're just going to stop running the ball. I think there's a world, Jeff, because you see teams right now in the NFL that are winning football games. What are they doing? And I know people don't want to hear this because you want to preserve your running backs. You see some running backs in the NFL right now in some of these games getting like 20 carries a game. Like 20. You need to start putting the ball in your running back's hands.
What that does? It protects your quarterback.
Yes.
You're taking some
less
pressure
predictable, man. Like it's like I
offensive
looked at the
line.
losses, man. Versus the Green, there's the stats for it. Versus the Green Bay Packers, David Montgomery 11 carries. They had a total as a team 20 carries as a team. That's it. 46 yards versus the Green Bay Packers rushing. Versus the Chiefs, another game you lose, big game you lose. David Montgomery 4 carries. As a team 21, you had less than 100 rushing yards in that game. Versus the Vikings, David Montgomery gets 11 carries, kind of back up to where he usually is. Only 20 as a team, so that means at least Jameer only had 9 carries. You only rushed for 65 yards. And then last night, David Montgomery 6 carries. You had 18 as those two as that duo, and they only rushed for 74 yards together. And it wasn't like they were running the ball bad. You could argue like Jameer wasn't great. You get the ball to those guys, man. You just establish the run. You can't tell me you can't get a run game going. Like that's supposed to be your bread and butter, man. We talked about it like all offseason long. Like this offense can't be good if you don't establish the run. You're a run first team. You're not a pass first team.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you run the ball, if you're giving up a ton of pressure to your quarterback, running the ball helps him. Running the ball helps your O-line because now you could take some pressure off of not only your quarterback but your offensive line. Although they didn't run the ball great yesterday. I'm with you. They should have used David Montgomery more often, and I would even argue in situationally they didn't utilize David Montgomery good enough because they had a 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, or was it even a 4th down? I think it might have been a 3rd or 4th down. I can't remember, but it was like 1 or 2 yards. They had Jameer in there. They ran him up the middle. Why wouldn't you want to have your power back do that? Why wouldn't you have David Montgomery run that play? That guy falls over for a yard every time, 2 yards. So I agree with you. The utilization of David Montgomery this year has been all over the map. It hasn't been consistent, and I don't think it's fair to him because Jameer is an incredible player, and you saw it in the pass game today or yesterday. He had 100 yards receiving. I mean, he had 2 huge gains. He's an explosive weapon. But Monty is like he does the dirty work. He's the physical back, and in those type of games yesterday, when maybe Jameer's not running the ball well enough, Dave Montgomery can help you out and assist that. He's a physical. He punishes defenses, man. That's what he does. In the Eagles, it seemed like, to your point, what? Guess what? A good comparison for that, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs last week, another physical back against the Packers. The Eagles, they give up some yards to him, man. I mean, over time they stopped him, but especially early in that game, Josh Jacobs had some good chunk yards because he's a physical big back, and maybe the Eagles just kind of struggle with those type of backs.
Yeah.
And David looked decent last night, and they just didn't give him enough carries. So I'm with you. It's been weird all year. It's been inconsistent with that. And I thought that,
dude, like the Ravens game, you win by 1 possession, right? And it's like they weren't really hurt yet. Like Lamar was still playing. David Montgomery had 12 carries, and I know like that's such a one-off because he had the 72-yard run. Like he had big plays, but like 150 yards. But guess how many carries Jahmyr Gibbs had? 22. Like you're just running the ball. Like Jared Goff had 28 pass attempts. What do they do with the other, like from last night, the other 10? You give them to your two running backs, man. And you find a way to, you have to find a way to get this run game going. And people are like, well, they're not good with the run right now. You figure it out, man. Like you try and scheme more things open, but you have to at some point start running the ball more. You have to. You can't just sit back and just rely on just Jared Goff tossing it to the weapons because
when you can't protect them.
Yeah, and even then it's like you just turn predictable. Like, okay, like defenses now know, like especially when you go up against a Vic Fangio, who's like he's one of the best in the game, man. You're gonna pass the ball 40 times on him? No, you're not. He's gonna get to you. That's one of the best. That's one of the best fronts in football on defense is those guys, Jalen Carter and that crew there. And you're just gonna sit there and be like, oh, we can throw the ball 40 times in a game where it was a gritty game. Like that's a game you win on the ground. What did the Eagles do? They gave the ball to Saquon and won on the ground.
Yeah, they understood the assignment. I mean, even Jalen Hurts counts as rushes. They were running it. And it's
frustrating. You had the best running back duo in the NFL. It's not like you have like scrubs. You have two of the best in the game, and you're just not utilizing them to the fully.
Yeah, it's how do you help Jared out? I mean, you commit to the run just because you're maybe not having the success you want in the run game. At least committing to it, you at least let the defense know like we're not going to bail on the run. It got to a point where they just strictly bailed on the run, and then it turns into now the Eagles can just pin their ears back and rush the passer. Jared Goff doesn't have play action, which we know he's a really good quarterback in play action, so he's at a disadvantage. Your offense just gets put in a terrible spot. So it's like, I mean, the Eagles ran the ball 26 times to your point. Tank Bigsby ran it for 4. Jalen Hurts ran it for 10. They ran the ball 41 times.
Yeah.
And I know they were up in the game, but at points it was like a 3-point game or it was a 6-point game, and they're still running the ball. And they ran it for 3.7 a carry. They ran it for 0.2 better than you did. And
does it feel like
they still want to keep running it?
It's going to sound really bad. Because I don't think it has anything to the Lions' identity the last few years. It's like, yeah, it's been run game and all this. They've just been like, they just play mean up front, like mean football. Like we're going to dominate you in the trenches and we're going to run the ball down your throats. They don't feel like they're like a mean up or like a front right now. Like not even close.
Yeah, they're getting bullied. I mean,
it's like when you do run the ball, like you do get bullied. And it's like, are you guys at some point when you're going to step up and be like, we're that mean, like offensive line that like we want to hurt people? The only one that does that is Penei Sewell. That's it. Your other 4 guys, they don't want any part of hurting someone. They don't.
They don't have. It's just like they don't have no pride in losing those one-on-one. Like they're just getting pushed. They're getting moved around. I mean,
the second best guy that wants to go in and hurt someone is Dan Skipper, and he only played 5 snaps last night. Honestly, I'm at a point. Get Dan Skipper at guard, and let him start because he plays hard. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
change something up.
It's been a problem. And even like Big Bag for Life, appreciate the $5. Says I don't understand why we can't get Tesla involved more. We should have kept Tim Patrick.
You can't get anyone else involved. Why are you going to get Tesla involved? You got to figure everyone else out first.
I appreciate the $5, bro. It ain't that. It ain't a Tim Patrick problem. I'll tell you that, man. Because they're not losing games because they don't involve. Now the offense isn't involving Khalif Raymond as much as they should, but I think it's more than just not having a Tim Patrick. I mean, Isaac Tesla, I think, is capable. There's more issues than that. There just is. There's play calling issues. They don't even use their wide receiver 3. There's offensive line issues. They're not running the ball as they typically usually do, at least as efficiently, unless Jahmyr just has 500 yards. So yeah, there's other issues, I'd say, rather than bringing back a 33-year-old Tim Patrick. Like he's not doing anything for you, really. I mean, it's Isaac Tesla, I will say, I mean, you gave up all those thirds for him. You'd expect him to play a lot more. I think he's ready to play. They should use him more. But there's other things they got to figure out before they even get to that. They got to run more 12 personnel. They got to have an extra tight end on the field because they can't really block. So it's just they're running into those issues too. They can't run as much 11 personnel as they like to. Big Back says I wasn't saying it was a problem.
Oh, you're saying in general?
That's fair. I mean, yeah, they should get. They don't use their wide receiver 3 as much as they did last year. That's a fact.
Yeah,
they
don't. Actually don't. Khalif's kind of in that role a little bit different, right? Like he's the one that's been getting those wide receiver 3 like targets.
And he gets like 40 yards every 5 weeks. I mean, he doesn't even.
Yeah, he got nothing yesterday. They didn't involve. They couldn't involve anyone yesterday. Amon-Ra, and we'll say I saw some in the chat be like talk about how Amon-Ra was bad. Like Amon-Ra had like 12 targets or 11 targets. He dropped passes. I haven't seen Amon-Ra play like that. That might have been his worst game of his career. That might have been. He struggled yesterday. And those are like, and I know
he was clamped, man. I don't care.
I
watched back that fit. He was clamped.
I will say though, like I agree with you, like he was, but you have seen in the past Amon-Ra make plays.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying.
So like that connection with Jared to Amon-Ra, it was not there, and he had multiple drops to where you were like, that's like you never dropped that. What are you doing? Like how is that possible?
Yeah, there was like 2-3 plays in there where it was miscommunication, but I think even Jared pointed out
the first down. How did
they asked Jared, and he was like, "Yeah, the coverage was good." He's like, the coverage was really good. Quinyon Mitchell, I'm gonna give some credit, dude. He played a hell of a game yesterday. Adoree Jackson gave up a touchdown to Jabo.
Yeah, Quinyon's good, man.
But Quinyon, dude, I've never seen him play like that, like a full game, bro. I mean, to do that against Amon-Ra St. Brown that's impressive, bro. Amon-Ra's always open.
I do feel like they were just off. They were just off a little bit yesterday. Like there was that first down. There was that where they should have had a first down. Amon-Ra's coming across the field instead of just like Jared Goff thought he was just going to sit in the spot, throws it. Amon-Ra keeps running, and it's just like that's not even like a bad play on either of them. That was more so just a miscommunication. Like they just weren't on the same page, and that's something typically like those guys, 99.999% of the time, they're both on the exact same page in those types of moments. And they just I don't know.
What about Ken Ross? He says, nobody, including this team, expected Glasgow to be the starting center. Tried Ratledge. That didn't work. The inability to find a capable replacement for Ragnow is hampering this O-line and team.
What did I say last night, Jeff?
They should have been way ahead of that.
At what point do you look at Brad Holmes?
Oh, right now.
And at what point do you look at Brad Holmes and when do people actually be like a little bit, hey, Brad, this is a Super Bowl roster. The biggest piece of it of your team you built it on was your offensive line. You have not addressed until this offseason the interior. You haven't. I said it last night. Like he didn't have. A good GM would have had a center in there learning from Frank Ragnow, and Frank Ragnow mentoring a center. You know, his next like protege, whatever it is.
Right.
Nothing.
By the way, I do have the Taylor Decker footage we could play, and Amon-Ra, so we can play some of those and hear from the players. I'll start with Taylor Decker. We'll play Taylor Decker's, and we'll kind of talk about it now that we're on the O-line, and then we'll play Amon-Ra's as well. And then we'll get to the defense later, and we'll hear from Hutch. But here's Taylor Decker talking about the loss to the Eagles.
That was a battle out there. You guys knew it was going to be a tough one. Just give me a sense of what is so tough about that defensive front you guys just faced.
Their personnel is really good. They're not necessarily an overly complicated defense, but they have really good players, and they can roll them through too. They have, one deep, two deep is all. They're all good players. So yeah, we just. I'm gonna need to watch the film, like truthfully watch the film on this one, because it just felt like, we were just kind of trudging through everything. It was very difficult. So credit to them.
What was the game plan coming into tonight? I know that Dan always kind of sets the tone for the week of how you guys are going to attack a team.
I think for us in general, we want to establish the run and hit play action passes. Try to get them out of too high, and then take our shots when we can. Mix up personnels, and we were doing that as far as the play calls, but we just weren't getting the yards we needed to stay ahead of the chains.
It felt like there was a lot of success running to the outside, passing to the outside. Mm-hmm. Was there a reason you guys had to get away from that?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that one.
Give me a sense too. Was the wind a factor at all? 10 passes deflected, 5 of those at the defensive line.
As far as at the defensive line, no. I mean, that's just they're getting their hands up, and we got to keep our hands on them as a D line. I mean, they just did a good job of if they were, kind of locked down on their rush, and they would just get their hands up. As far as down the field, that's a Jared question or a receiver's question. I don't really know.
You guys live and die by third down, fourth down, especially going for it on fourth down, 0 for 5 on fourth down tonight. Yeah. How frustrating is that?
Yeah, that's not the brand of ball that we play. I mean, we go for those all the time because we have the personnel and we should be able to execute and get those, and we done it. And we put our defense in a lot of tough positions. And give those guys credit on defense. They played a hell of a game. And we need to do a lot more on offense to help them out.
Every game is different. Every opponent is different. But after what you guys and how efficient you guys were last week, was it kind of surprising tonight that you guys were trudging through it a little bit?
Yeah, we expected to play much better. We thought we matched up really well with them. And ultimately, we just didn't get the results that we were hoping for.
There you go. Yeah, Taylor Decker speaking to the media there. He kind of echoed a lot of what the offense was talking about. I mean, they just it didn't. It's a lot better. At least he didn't say or hint at anything scheme related. It was just they just got outplayed. I mean, they just got. He even mentioned he's like the Eagles defense. Like Vic Fangio is an excellent DC, but it's not like they weren't prepared. They were prepared. They just
said they felt like they matched up well versus them.
They just got outplayed. I mean, that's really what they just got outplayed all over.
It's weird that like he brings up like one of our identities is like establishing the run. Like that's the first identity every time, and they just every time they lose, they just go away from establishing the run. They just go away from it, and you can't even be like, well, you're down, so you're passing. Like you're down a possession. It's not even excusable.
I would like to get I don't have it, and this just popped in my head. So I probably should have thought about this before I would have got it, but I'm curious carries first half, second half. I would like to know that. How many carries did they have in the first half compared to the second half? Because it seemed like the carries in the second half, they did kind of get away from it, and it was still a close game. So I like how many pass attempts carries have in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd like to kind of.
I can go check carries real quick if you.
Because I am curious, because that would dictate, kind of indicate, did they bail on the run essentially? Because it felt like they should have ran the ball more than 18 times combined between Jameer and David. I mean, they obviously David should have gotten more, but it just felt weird. Like Saquon had more carries than them combined by a landslide. I mean, and he only averaged 3 a carry. They kept going to him. So they leaned on Saquon, although he wasn't efficient. That's kind of what it felt like. I mean, it's not like you have to run the ball well to keep the run, like don't bail on the run. It felt like to throw the balls 37 times in those conditions out, in that type of game was just not, I mean, it wasn't. In the yards, I mean, he threw for 255, but a lot of those, like Jameer's yards, man, were off those huge yards after catch. Jameson yards after catch. I mean, they were just making plays, but
I mean, like dude, it's shocking. David Montgomery, 6 to start a drive in the second half, in this basically beginning or the second possession of the third quarter. David Montgomery's 6-yard run. Don't go back to him. Next run play, Jameer Gibbs 2-yard run. Jameer Gibbs 4-yard run. Jameer Gibbs 10-yard run. Okay, that's good, right? Then you still don't go back to him. Jameer Gibbs 2-yard run. Jameer Gibbs 1-yard run. All right. So Jameer Gibbs struggling a little bit. So next possession, pass. All of a sudden you get another 1st and 10. Guess what it is? David Montgomery, 7-yard run. Then you just don't go back to him. You don't go back to him. Don't go back to him the rest of that possession. You pass the ball right after you get a David Montgomery 7-yard run. It's 2nd and 3. Incomplete pass on 4th down. So literally on 1st and 10, you go D-Mont handoff. He gets it to a 2nd and 3. You would think if it's 2nd and 3, right? Let's say you go for it on 4th down. You would think one more time that you at least hand it to D-Mont, right? On a 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, and 4th and 3. Guess what you do? you don't give it to him once, and you just go incomplete pass, incomplete pass, incomplete pass.
Yep.
And it's like if you literally just handed the ball off every single play on that drive or on that possession right there, you probably convert another first down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that simple.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's a huge problem.
It is that simple, and it's like, yeah, we could be like, well, that's simple for us, but no, it's like he's had, like, I'm going through it here right now, Jeff. Like David Montgomery, he had 2 carries in the second half. David Montgomery had 2 carries in the second half for 7 yards and 7 yards. I believe it was 7 and 7. I'm going to double check that so I'm not giving the wrong. 7 and 6. 2 carries in the second half for a 6 and 7 yard carry. That was it. That's the only time DeMont touched the ball. That's it.
A problem. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, DeMont's doing that in the second half when defenses are getting a little more worn down, and you just don't go back to them. Like that kind of goes back to my argument about like giving up on, not that you're giving up on players, but like they gave up on basically Dave Montgomery. They're just like, all right, fuck it, we're just not going to run the ball.
Yeah.
It's like DeMont's been a good though. Like he's actually done. He did pretty good in that game, and he's a back that you can lean on and give him some carries, give him more of a load. He's not like he's had a lot of carries this year. I mean, he's pretty healthy. I mean, he's not like he's getting utilized a lot. He's only had, I mean, what is he? He had 6 carries against the Eagles, and he's had some games where double-digit carries. But then there'll be games where he gets 4 carries against the Chiefs in a loss, like you said, and then 4 carries against the Browns, or 9 carries against the Browns, which he didn't play that well, but they just kind of get away from him. And we talked a little bit about the pass game, but Amon-Ra also spoke to the media. So let's play this clip here from Amon-Ra about kind of what happened in that game from his point of view. Let's take a listen.
Doesn't really tell you as much in the loss as people might expect.
I mean, at the end of the day, we still lost. However you want to look at it, I feel like every team when they lose, most of the time they're going to say it was on them. They could have done better. But it was a close game. It was close to the end. I feel like there definitely was plays that we left out there as an offense. I think defense played great. They played their tails off. I mean, watching them go out there, I mean, they balled. So, but as an offense, we definitely left some plays out there. They made some good plays too on defense. Credit to them. But we can for sure be a lot better.
Just walking around on the field pregame, the wind was really blowing. I mean, did that have any impact on the way you guys wanted to operate the offense today?
Not really. No, I wouldn't. Wind's not an excuse. The ball does move around a little, but that's not an excuse. We were still able to throw it. We still threw it. They still threw it. So yeah, that's no excuse.
See this one get away.
All right.
It sucks. It really does. It sucks.
We can hear from him when we talk about the defense. But yeah, like the wind. I mean, everyone was asked about the wind. They all said the same thing. It's like it did. The pass game was not affected by the wind. And 0-0 Dolphin, appreciate the 5. He says 12 targets for 2 catches should make Amon-Ra sick, not all on Goff. Yeah, I mean, they just weren't connecting. I mean, Amon-Ra didn't get open as much as he usually does. And when he was open, him and Goff just weren't on the same page. I mean, he had one throw that was behind him. There was a couple that were just, it was just one of those, it's like one of those rare occurrences in the worst moments where they're just not on the same page. And they always are. It's just how it goes. So Eric Taylor also said Gibby 75% of the snaps, not good. Get Monty more involved. I can see Gibbs getting a lot of snaps in a game where, it's like you're down and you're running you're trying to score quickly, and you're like, all right, we need a guy who can catch out the backfield, make plays. But it was a close game. Like, there's no reason why Jahmyr Gibbs should have dominated the snap count.
No,
especially if you're not bailing on the run. Monty was running the ball pretty well. So
yeah, I'm just looking at some of DeMont's runs here. Like, he ran like his 6 runs. He had two runs for 2 yards, which obviously, like, it's going to happen versus an Eagles defense, right? Like, you're going to have a couple that you're not going to get well. But then, like, he has a 4-yard carry, a 6-yard carry, a 6-yard carry, and a 7-yard carry. If you just, I mean, I know obviously, like, yeah, you give him more. I was probably not going to do that the whole time, but DeMont was having success yesterday. And you just completely just ignored it. Just went away from it.
Alpha Gridiron 1 says that Howie Roseman had a plan for Kelsey retirement. Frank considered retirement at the end of 2023. What does Brad do? Draft back-to-back cornerbacks.
I've been Alpha Gridiron. I've been saying this I said this yesterday in the post game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, man. You should have had a guy that could have learned from Kelsey. Should have learned from Ragnow before.
Yeah.
That's just how it should have went, man. You should have been more prepared for that.
And
offensive line is so important to this team. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue. We talked about their highest invested capital in offensive lineman, Penei Sewell. And he was a top 7 pick. So obviously you're not going to be that high. But besides him, up until Tate Rallage, was Giovanni Manu. That was your highest invested draft pick. Christian Mahogany was a 6th rounder. He still has a lot to learn. Tate Rallage, they drafted this year. He's a rookie, but they haven't invested. Miles Frazier's another 6. I think he's a 6th round pick, 5th round pick.
Yeah.
Like, invest higher capital in offensive linemen, man.
He's ignored it. He's ignored it. And like,
I mean, my gosh, you should be taking these guys. I wouldn't mind a 1st round pick. Take a tackle.
No.
Or whatever.
They should have had a guard that you knew could potentially play center for you 2 years in the last 2 years instead of Ennis Rakestraw or Terrion Arnold. You should have drafted a guard that you knew, hey, this guy can be Frank. And I think the biggest thing is like Cam Jurgens, the Eagles bringing Cam Jurgens in and just sitting him behind Kelsey, Jason Kelsey, and just being like, dude, just learn. Like, you're going to be our next center. We're letting you know that. It might take you a couple of years. Just learn. Just learn from him. This guy's one of the greatest of all time. Learn. And I think one of the biggest swings and misses from Brad is sitting there going like, hey, you had a Hall of Fame center in your building, and you had no one in the building to learn for one day. Not one day. You didn't have a backup center in there one day, like taking notes on how does Frank Ragnow approach games. Because what's one of his strengths? Like Frank, one of his biggest strengths was him like pre-snap. Him watching film, them talking about him coming in at 5 a.m. with Jared Goff and Ben Johnson, and sitting there watching film for protections and pre-snap things and all of that. That was one of his biggest strengths. That's why he was so good. They haven't had one person. They didn't have one person while he was in the building come in and learn behind Frank. That's not on Dan. That's on Brad Holmes not thinking ahead of being prepared for the future of the offensive line.
Steve A, appreciate the $2. Says we have Ennis Rakestraw. We are saved. I'm
over Ennis. He's a bust.
Yeah,
Ennis Rakestraw's a bust. It's over for him. He could come and play still, but like,
no. So far he's a bust. I mean, there's not even an argument. Now Nolan Bianchi. I forgot to show this before we get to the defense. We'll get to more of different conversations. I want to just show this because I forgot to earlier. Nolan Bianchi put this out, and he said, according to Next Gen Stats, the Lions' 5 failed 4th down attempts resulted in a 32.7% loss in win percentage. So that basically means the 4th down attempts tanked their chance of winning the game. Obviously, if they get them, they have a higher percentage than a 32.7 loss, obviously. But that's the risk when you go for it on 4th down. Like, it basically make or break games if you can get them. And I know Nick Sirianni in his press conference basically said he counts them as their turnovers. That's what it is. You turn the ball over 5 times. That's how they look at it, or 4 times. Well, 5, including a fake punt, but that's how they look at it. It's like if we can get a stop on 4th down, it's a turnover. So that basically, are you going to win a game with that many turnovers? No, you're not. So it makes sense why Next Gen Stats would have that as the percentage there. Christian says, is Sorsdale still on the team? He's actually on IR. So
Sorsdale, I mean, he's done too.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Is he on IR or was that injury settlement? I don't even know at this point.
I can't remember. Last time I remember he was on IR. He was hurt. So I'm thinking he's still on IR, but yeah.
Oh no, Jeff, don't read that. Don't read that comment. You don't want to read that comment.
Giovanni Manure?
Oh no, dude. No, man. I'm so interested, by the way. I'm like refreshing this PFF thing. I'm waiting for these. The grades are pending right now. I'm just sitting here waiting. I want to see what if the offensive line were all like 8 in the 80s PFF.
I mean, really, in the 80s?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
They actually had a better game than we thought.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to have this conversation before we get to the defense. I think it is a fair conversation. As of Monday, do you still believe the Lions are Super Bowl contenders? What's your confidence? Or you can
Do you want me to go
confidence
first, or
level.
do you want to go
You can
first?
go, yeah, you can go yes or no, or you can do maybe a confident, maybe a 1 through 10. We can do the 1 through 10 thing again. 10 being
Do you want me
very
to go
confident.
first?
Yeah. Or I can go first. It's up to you.
No, I mean I can. I mean, at some point I got to step up here, man. I got to be a playmaker, right?
Are the Detroit Lions very simple Super Bowl contenders?
Based off of yesterday, like what we saw yesterday,
I guess so far up into the season. I mean, take it all into account.
I think I hate to say this because I'm the one that pours the Kool-Aid on myself, man. I'd have to say the Detroit Lions right now are not Super Bowl contenders. They're not. I don't think if you're a fan, if you cover this team, you look yourself in the mirror and you're being honest with yourself and you're trying to tell it straight, right? It sucks because this was supposed to be a year you had an opportunity to, right? A healthy football team, and you were supposed to be ready to go, and you were hoping Dan would make the right offensive hire. You were hoping that Brad Holmes had this offensive line built. I just don't see a world with this football team, man. You've gone up against 3 teams that are going to be playoff teams in the Packers, Chiefs, and Eagles, and you've lost to every single one. And it wasn't even like, hey, you were in control. At some point in that game, you just lost it. You had no control in any of those games. You had no chance in any of those games. Zero control. Zero control. So as of right now, I'd say, no, this Lions team's not winning a Super Bowl. You're not, which is disappointing to say. I was driving home last night at midnight, 12:30, 1 a.m., and it hit me. It was like, you're probably not celebrating the Super Bowl this year, bud. It sucks. And it sucks, too, because, like, the doc was live, Jeff, and he was talking about it. He was like, Doc said this. Doc said he truly believes that Dan and Brad, or Brad especially, went into this year knowing that they weren't a Super Bowl team, especially offensive line-wise, and he was fine with punting it until next year. And my point was, and I typed in it, like, why is it always next year for Brad?
Yeah, that's malfeasance as a GM.
Why is it constantly next year? Why didn't you go out in free agency and go get some more offensive linemen like the Chicago Bears did? Why? For a 1-year deal. Why not? Why didn't you do your Kevin Zeitler move again? This is supposed to be a year where you're supposed to be confident. Like, you can't go into a year of a Super Bowl year with multiple rookies on the offensive line, essentially, in a beat-up center. So, yeah, I just don't see a world where right now, like, I think the biggest thing is, like, I just don't think your offensive line, that's supposed to be your bread and butter. That's how you win the game. There's just no way you can win a Super Bowl with this offensive line right now. I don't see a world, man. And you might be able to win a couple playoff games and squeeze by here and there. I just don't see a world though you beat some really good football teams 3 straight weeks in the NFL with the offensive line you have.
I agree with the offensive line. I think they're too inconsistent offensively to say they're a Super Bowl contender. And that includes the offensive line and includes the play calling. I mean, Dan Campbell taking over, it's just been like this weird thing. And I just think there's too many question marks on offense to say they're a Super Bowl contender. And I think the more difficult part of it is if you do, I won't go that far. I think they'll make the playoffs. They're going to have to go on the road, Boone, and win 4 games. They got to win 4 games, man. Like that's that against like good NFC opponents. I mean, you might square up with the Eagles again in Philly, or Rams in LA, or Seattle in Seattle, or it's going to be a gauntlet. You're going to face some good teams in the playoffs, and they haven't shown consistently they can beat good teams, or at least go up against good defenses. And that's like the Rams offense was. They struggled against that Seattle. That Seahawks defense. They're a good defense. There's no denying.
The elite, like one of the best in the league right now.
You have the Eagles, great defense. The Rams, that's another good. That's a great defense. They had forced 4 turnovers on Sam Darnold. Like you're gonna have to go against good defensive lines too. Eagles, Rams, like the Seahawks got guys that can rush the passer. It's I would agree with you. I think as of right now, it's hard. They're just too inconsistent. They have offensive line issues. I think I personally am not super confident in anyone besides Hutch on a big stage on the defensive line, but I think the defense has shown they're really good. So I'm not even really worried about them. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but yeah, offensively, it's hard to say they are. I mean, they honestly, and we'll talk about the NFC North later in the show, but like, let's just focus on winning the division. I mean, it's still like things could still happen. You still play the Bears, you still play the Packers, still play the Vikings. But like, if you don't win this division, bro, and you got to go on the road, it's that much harder. I mean, it's just like they're not doing themselves any favors They're not.
No. The problem is too. The thing is, it's like you could have, and I think a lot of people were like, well, look at these other games. Like you can have a game here or there where your offensive line finds a way to get it together, right? And you're like, okay, good offensive line game. Like great in the run, gave Jared Goff time. But like when you get to the playoffs, the problem is it's especially like if you're not the 1 seed, you have to win a wild card game, a divisional round, an NFC championship game, and the Super Bowl. That's 4 straight wins. You have to be able to put 4 straight games together with your offensive line having great performances. And I'm not just saying like, oh, you can get by if you have good ones. You are going up against in those 4 games some of the 4 best defenses in the NFL, right? Let's do an example. You're going up against the Seahawks defense, one of the best up fronts in football. The Rams defense, another one of the best fronts in football. The Eagles defense, you just saw what they did to you last night. And then probably like the Chiefs defense with Chris Jones. Guess what? What's not happening? Like there's one of those games, I promise you, Jared Goff is going to get pressure 20 times and you're going to lose the football game.
Based on what we've seen.
Oh, yeah. There's just no way. Like they haven't put 4 games together. One, they haven't put 4 games together on the offensive line that can give you that confidence. And number 2, they haven't put one of those games together versus a legit front 7 on a defense at all. Once this year. They haven't. You haven't seen it.
Well, the frustrating part to me is when Dan Campbell says we're so close. That reminds me of when they were 9-8. And they were losing some games, and he was like, "We're so close," and they started winning games. Like we're not at close. Like we're not at a point where you're supposed to say this team is close. No, we're supposed to be there. Like this is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Like it's just. So I get what he's trying to say. He's like, we're ironing these things out. We're close to figuring it out, but it's like they're not supposed to be there. Like the Eagles can say that because they're winning games, and they can say we're figuring it out. But it's like you're struggling to win some of these games, dude. And you're in, this team before the season was like a top 5 Super Bowl favorite. It's like they just don't look like a Super Bowl contender as of right now. I mean, unless they rattle off how many games they got left.
Oh,
7. They rattle.
I don't even know if it's honestly. I don't even care about the wins. Like obviously, you need the wins to make the playoffs and to get in. I'm more so just rattling off the win. I'm more so just like unless you show me that you could put like back-to-back games together on the offensive line. Because I think the defense is there, and I think you have the weapons to do it. You just can't get the ball to those weapons, and you can't run the ball. I'm interested. Should we do the weekly Monday game? You want to do it?
Yeah, let's hear from our friends over at Sleeper, and then we'll get into it. Let's do it. See you guys in a minute. I've interrupted the video to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper in the new promotion they have going on. A brand new promotion is now live on Sleeper that could be paired with the 100% deposit match promotion that's already been going on. It's a free $20, no deposit required, plus first-time users will also receive 100% deposit match up to $100. Use the code CT Sports. You guys should already be using Sleeper. It's one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the entire world with millions and millions of active users. They are crushing it. And if your state allows it, you should be using Sleeper Picks. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. You just choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame live or across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. And on Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends. Get rewarded together. Don't forget, code CT Sports. Get a $100 deposit up to $100, and you got your free $20 entry. Sleeper is taking care of their customers. Always remember, gamble responsibly. Now let's get back to the video. It's time to play our signature odds game where you read off the sportsbook odds. And you guess. And you make me guess the sportsbook odds for the Lions. What are we doing? Super Bowl? Is this
Super Bowl conference and division?
All right. We'll start with Super Bowl.
Let's start with division.
All right, division.
Well, actually, let's go Super Bowl. Good call.
Okay. I think the favorite as of right now has to be, if they're smart, has to be the Eagles. I mean, it have to be the Eagles or the Bills, I guess.
You are correct.
Is it the Eagles?
Philadelphia Eagles right now are the Super Bowl favorites at plus 500 after that Lions win, which I don't think is shocking to anyone. I feel like that's like that feels like that's the right move to make, right? Like the Eagles. Who do you think number 2 is? Because number 2 is actually I'll tell you this. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's not the Bills.
I swear. It has to be the Rams then.
Final?
Yeah.
Los Angeles Rams plus 650.
Okay. The spots down the sports workers are going to glaze Mahomes again.
What do you think the next two are here?
It should be the Bills third.
Bills plus 800. Next,
Chiefs.
Chiefs plus 950.
They're always going to have them in the top 4.
Next team. This is where things start to get a little interesting because obviously those are probably the top 4 teams right now in the NFL who have an opportunity to win it.
Is it AFC or NFC?
AFC.
Broncos?
Nope.
Seahawks. Oh, no, that's NFC.
Come on, man. Come on, Jeff.
What's another AFC team that's really good? I'm tripping.
There's one that's like, I think might have 2 losses right now. Maybe 3.
Oh, I used the chat for this one. Is it Indy?
The Colts. Colts are sitting there at plus 1,000, and then
I totally forgot about the Colts, man. I keep
6
forgetting it's a good team.
coming in after the Colts. NFC team is next. I'll give you that. So it's just a little, no.
Lions.
Detroit Lions right behind the Colts at plus 1,100. And then I'll just give you the rest here. Seahawks are plus 1,300. Ravens plus 1,300 as well. And then the Broncos at 1,400. The Packers at 1,400. And then you have the Patriots. I might bet the Patriots, to be honest, just to have a little sprinkle because they're like very low. I think they have a chance to win the AFC.
They should be like top 6, 7.
Yeah, the Patriots are very good. All right. NFC, we'll do this. NFC. How do you? I guess honestly, it's pretty similar to be honest. So there's really like the guessing is tough.
It would be Eagles, Rams, Lions.
Lions are not third actually. This is weird.
Seahawks.
They're tied for third with the Seahawks. Yeah, tied for third, and they have better odds to beat than the Packers. Packers at plus 750.
At least they've knocked the Packers down. That's they've had them too high too.
Yeah, what do you think for divisions for the NFC North? How do you think that's looking? Because I mean, I guess this can lead into our NFC North conversation. But what are your?
Yeah,
I
mean,
do you think this is ranked in the sports books? Where do you
Bears
think that they have?
first, but I think the sports books they understand the Bears play. They play the Packers, I think. Still, they play the Vikings. They play the Lions. I think they kind of know it'll even out. I don't think the Bears are favorites.
They're not.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. Is it the Packers? Are they number 1 still?
Packers are plus 125 to win the NFC North. Even though the Lions are ahead of them in Super Bowl odds and conference odds, the Lions are behind the Packers in the NFC North right now. And I think it's just based off of strength of schedule, who they play, and
they've already beat them once. Like,
yeah. And then they kind of had that tie too, to where if they kind of, a tie counts as the half win. So you get so it is the Packers plus 125, Lions plus 150, and then the Bears plus 350, and the Vikings are plus 7,000. Very, very low.
Interesting. I'll tell you what, though, Vikings are probably favorites to miss the playoffs, though.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you could probably bet them to miss the playoffs if you want. Get them at a minus 150. the Vikings. You go check. What are they to miss the playoffs?
4,000 to miss the playoffs.
Who?
The Vikings.
They're 4,000?
Minus 4,000 to miss. They have the 3rd worst odds in football right now. It's the Falcons at minus 50,000. I think they've taken some teams off of this list, just so you know. But for the teams that are still on it, let me see what they are to make the playoffs. Well, the Lions, by the way, to make the playoffs are minus 370. So they're like, people are like, they still expect them to come in and make the playoffs. Vikings are plus 1,250 to make the playoffs right now.
Wow.
The Panthers are plus 360 and the Vikings are plus 1,260. So you have a little
like 500, aren't they?
Yeah, Panthers are good. Like they're actually good. Like they're
It's crazy to even say that they're 500.
Yeah, no, they probably will make the playoffs. They'll have a chance.
Wow.
By the way, too, in that division, Michael Penix out for the season, potentially.
Yeah, I just saw. So Kirk's going to start the rest of the year.
Good for Kirko, man.
Kirko Chains gets to start for the rest of the
Kirko's
year.
back, man.
Yeah, this division ain't no cakewalk, man. I'll tell you one thing. I said before the year I thought it'd go Lions, Packers. I thought the Lions would win 12-5. I thought the Packers would go 10-7. And then I thought the Bears would go 9-8, and I thought the Vikings would go 8-9. But the Bears, though, 7-3 was not on my bingo. It was not on my bingo card. I thought they're gonna lose some games. I guess there's a world in which they maybe go 10-7, 9-8. I think it's more likely. I think they drop some games because they play the Eagles, they play the Lions. I think that'll be good games. They play the Vikings, they just played the Vikings. They play the Packers again, or they haven't played the Packers actually. They play them twice in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, they play the Browns, which they could, but I don't know. Let's say the Browns is a win for them. All they have to do is beat the Steelers, Eagles, Packers twice, or the 49ers and Lions, and they are already at 9 wins. And the Lions right now are in a spot to where it's like they have to go 4-3 just to get to 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and they still have Packers, Rams, and then that's really the toughest games. And then they have little sneaky games on there, like the Giants. Never, they're respectable. They're playing hard right now. Steelers, maybe without Aaron. Aaron actually he just fractured his. They say he fractured his wrist.
Yeah.
So he could be. I mean, at his age,
that might be the career of Aaron Rodgers. What?
Oh, never mind. It said, I got a notification on NFL, the app. It said Carter slept through team meeting. I thought it was Jalen Carter the next day. And then it's
Carter.
Abdul Carter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he got benched against the Packers. But yeah, that I was about to say, I mean, he can sleep in all he wants, bro. He dominated the Lions yesterday. But yeah, I think this NFC North will kind of shape up how I think it will. The only thing, am I worried that another team can win the NFC North? I think the Lions still got to go out and take that, man. The Packers have a relatively easier schedule the rest of the year. I know that Josh Jacobs is hurt, but would I be shocked if the Packers win the division? Nope, I would not be. I would not be shocked. It comes down to that Thanksgiving game. You got to beat them. You got to beat the Packers, dude. And maybe they won't have Josh Jacobs. I don't know what the ruling is on that. I don't know if it's a longer injury, longer term injury or whatever. I just know he had a knee injury and he left the game, but you gotta beat them. I'll tell you that. You gotta beat the Packers. Because if let's say you can't lose to the Packers and Rams, bro. Then that would mean the only 2 teams you beat with anything are the Ravens and Bucks.
Yeah.
And you talked about this before the year. You got to beat good teams, man.
If you're a Super Bowl contender, you have to beat Super Bowl contenders. If you have 5 games versus Super Bowl contenders, you can't go 0-5. That's what I got mad at you guys about when we did the prediction. You guys had them losing to everyone. And I was like, so you guys don't believe they're Super Bowl contenders. Klotz stood on business. He said, no, they're not.
I think the only one I had them beating was the Packers and the Bucks. And they beat the Ravens, which I didn't think they could. So that they got me already on that one. I think I had that was really the only 2 games I had. But I mean, I didn't think it looked like this, though. I mean, I didn't think it would look like this. I did not. I definitely did not. So it's been 6-4 is definitely not what I mean, I had them at 12-5. So they got to go. I mean, you got to go 6-1 over the next 7 to hit my record. I mean, Coach Walk says injury report says Jacobs nothing was torn, so maybe Josh Jacobs will be back. But yeah, that's gonna be a tough game. I thought Jordan Love got hurt, but he came back into the game and played. So it is what it is there.
That Thanksgiving game, I'll tell you what, and I think a lot of people aren't I said it yesterday. This is where I think Lions fans have to start being a little too cautious. And I've already seen a lot of tweets today, and I don't know if you've seen the same thing, Jeff, but I've seen a lot of people being like all of you Lions fans are so down this week after. It's like you guys always act like this after a loss. Just wait till next week. Yeah, wait till next week. They're really good off of a loss, and they play the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are going to bounce back. And it feels like it's been like this all year. You lose a game, Lions fans voice their concerns as they should be able to. Then they have a big game versus a bad team, and then all those people that were mad that Lions fans voiced their opinion, they go on a victory lap about, oh, see, you just have to trust this team. You have to trust this team. And then all of a sudden, You go back and you play a team like the Packers the week after, and you get beat. And that's where I think this Lions team, it's like you have a 2-week stretch here where you can go and destroy the Giants and beat them by 30 and go put up 40 points. I don't know if they will, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it feels like one of those moments, right? Coming off a loss, we're hungry, we're mad. And then the week after, it's Thanksgiving, the Packers are coming to town. You've already lost to them. You cannot have a dud of a game. You can't. Like you have to put up a
I'll
big
tell you
game.
what,
You have to.
I agree with ETN. The Giants are scrappy. If Dart plays, I think the game could be sneaky close. I agree, dude. Jackson Dart, they got blown out against the Eagles. They lost by 10 to the 49ers. But like a lot of these games, they're keeping close. I mean, they lost by 1 to the Broncos. Then they were up against the Broncos. Remember that in the fourth quarter, and they lost.
Again, I'm with you guys.
No, I honestly, I'll say this, man. I agree with you. They should take care of the Giants, but I don't think the Lions have freaking.
Yeah, but I will say, like coming off a loss, you like don't get caught up in the line. Like they beat bad teams, like they do. Like they not bad, but like teams like the Giants, they're supposed to take care of business. They do. The games that they struggle in, and it's a scrappy game. Those are the games where they're not supposed to. The defense is good. Like the defense has been good. Like we're at like this defense that we saw last night. If they show up next week, Jackson Dart's not doing much versus them.
Well, they gave up 34 against this Eagles defense.
Again, like this defense that they played like they did last night, and hey, guys get healthy. Jackson Dart's not doing much against them.
I give you credit.
And listen, coming off a loss. I mean, this Lions team, I think they set I think it's an NFL record of not having back-to-back wins if they beat the Giants this week.
Because I get like the Commanders, they took care of a bad team, but this Giants, they got D linemen up front. You think this O-line is going to move them around? Brian Burns leads the league in sacks, or he's second.
No, listen. I think I see what you're saying here. I hear you.
It's a game of matchups. Like the defensive line against this O-line, that's going to be tough.
For sure, bro.
Are you really going to act like smug after the Lions just got their ass whooped? I mean, it's like the Lions.
In my life, my most confident moments are Lions after a loss. But after that next win, I'm the least confident in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Wait, what did you say? You're the least confident after what?
I'm the most confident of all time in my life, coming off the Lions loss the next week. But my least confident moment in my life is after coming off that next win.
Oh, it's like they win and then you get less confident.
Yes. So like after they beat the Giants on Sunday,
they've been in how many situations this year have they been in after a loss? I think we've talked like 4 times about this thing. It's like they win a game, they lose, and then
there's just no way they lose to this Giants team.
Like their last 5 games, lost to the Chiefs, won against the Bucs, lost to the Vikings, won against the Commanders, lost to the Eagles. It's like eventually it gets hard to win back after a loss.
No, it doesn't, because they've done it for 3 straight years. Like literally, they are about to. If they beat the Giants, it is an NFL record. They set the NFL record. So you're like saying eventually. No, not eventually. They just keep winning after losses. Like it's like betting, and you're like, well, this has hit 10 of the last 10 times. Okay, let's throw it in the parlay.
And then guess what happens?
That leg hits again, and then it's a different leg that misses.
Does it always hit again?
It's always the leg that you go, well, this has hit 4 of the last 6 times, but I think we could get one here. Those are the ones that lose. Now, this is one where I'm very confident on Sunday. If you want to put something on it, if you actually think that they might. Struggle.
No, I'm not saying they're going to lose. I think it'll be a good game. I don't think they're going to just blow out.
I think they beat them by 2 scores, like 10 points.
Oh, okay, 10 points.
It's 2 scores. It's a touchdown and a field goal. 2 scores.
That's way close. You're acting like this team's going to win by 30 points. I mean, this.
No, not 30, but I think it's a game. I think it's a game where you're just not like scared. Like you're like, okay, we controlled this whole game. We're fine. Let's move on to the next.
See, I would agree. I think 10 points is fair. I guess the way I thought you were going to act like it's like Commanders all over.
40 to 13. No.
Yeah, no.
I think it'll be like my early score prediction would be like a 38 to like 24 or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little lower. That's a high scoring game. Maybe a little lower.
Yeah.
Maybe like 27 to 14.
You want to do studs and duds?
You didn't like that.
No, I don't. I mean, you think they're going to score 30 points this week? Yeah, let's not give it. We'll get to it later. How about that?
You didn't like the answer there. That was interesting.
No,
Good
I know.
read.
I'm really just now I'm thinking about the Giants, and it's already a day after the Eagles. But let's get to studs and duds, and then we'll talk about the defense for the last 30 minutes of the show. We'll give some time, more positives. We got through a lot of negatives.
Honestly, I want to. Can we do mailbag today? Make sure we do like 15 minutes mailbag.
Yeah, you want to just talk about the defense then?
No, we can do studs and duds.
All right.
I think defense is something we can talk about shortly. We don't have to have a big conversation about defense, and we can also talk about that tomorrow. Personally, I feel like today is like a morning.
Where do you want to start? You want to start with the stud? We'll start positive. Are you a good news first before the bad news guy, or are you a negative?
I'm a bad news. I'm a bad news.
Bad news before the good news guy too.
But we have been talking about a lot of all the duds we've talked about a lot today. Do you want to go dud for dud?
Wow, dud for dud. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go. Do you want to go dud for dud?
Yeah.
I'll start. Offensive line, dud.
Anyone specific you want to point out?
Offensive line, dud.
Okay. All right.
I don't even know. They're all bad. I don't even know how good Panay was. I'm waiting for the grades to come out. Panay might have been great. Dud. Graham Glasgow, old dud. He's like a milk dud.
Like Zach Bond milk dud.
Okay, they didn't need that. That was ridiculous from you, man. That's just
you know what? That's not me.
Yeah.
I'm taking shots at a player that dominated us. Okay, that's on me.
Duds. Lots of duds. They're all milk duds.
All right, milk duds. Okay, that's fair.
You go next, dud. Dud for dud.
I'm Ross St. Brown, dud.
Wow.
I'm dud, man.
Big dud.
No. Yeah, that's Amon-Ra just didn't look like himself. You know, he wasn't having a lot of success against Quinyon Mitchell. So I'm just gonna go with Amon-Ra. In a game where we were like legacy, like I was with you, bro. I was like, this guy's gonna dominate. And
he had the targets. We were right, essentially.
We were right with his involvement. It didn't work out. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm sorry, you have earned a dud for Sunday's game.
Next one, ready? Dud for dud.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden Hutchinson, dud.
That's fair.
Aiden Hutchinson, I love Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan man, dud. First half had one pressure the whole half. Next half, no Lane Johnson going up against, I don't know, what's the guy's name? That's not Theo Johnson. That's the tight end from the Giants.
Jordan Mailata?
No, he's going up against another Johnson.
Oh, it's like Alex Johnson. I got to look at what his name is. It's something Johnson.
It's, I got it right here. Fred Johnson. Going up against Fred Johnson all game. Once Lane Johnson goes out. Lots of Johnsons around here. You could be like, well, he got to the quarterback the one time versus Jalen Hurts. He didn't even get the sack. That was Roy Lopez that got the sack. No sacks yesterday. And every time the pocket collapsed, there was multiple times where Aiden Hutchinson just wasn't in a position to make a play. And Jalen Hurts extended drives based off of that. And you would hope that at moments you would get Aiden Hutchinson back there. If you're a defensive player of the year candidate, you need to step up and make plays. Jalen Phillips was the best defensive player on the field yesterday. Jalen Phillips, the edge that was traded from the Miami Dolphins that Howie Roseman brought in. Jalen Phillips versus Penei Sewell was better than Aiden Hutchinson versus Frank Johnson.
You know what's crazy? I just looked. Aiden Hutchinson through 10 games this year, 7.5 sacks. Last year through 5, 7.5 sacks.
Yeah. Has not been, and he wasn't good yesterday.
It doesn't help your narrative that Myles Garrett just had 4 sacks. Can we say that again? Can we say Myles Garrett
had 4 again?
Dude, he had another.
For the second time this year?
Bro.
He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
He had 4 yesterday.
Yeah, he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. But no, they had Aiden Hutchinson, dud for dud. Come on.
Can we?
I don't want to listen to your Myles Garrett talk. I'm not in the mood for it. You're putting salt on a wound today. I don't care. Don't want to hear it.
All right. Fair.
Dud for dud. You're up.
Yeah, that's insane. By the way, Myles Garrett's going to break the sack.
This guy's still talking about Myles Garrett.
He's going to break the sack record.
Dud for dud. Go ahead.
Dud for dud. On defense, you know what?
Doesn't have to be defense, offense or defense.
I was trying to pull another, but there's not too many on defense. I'll go offense. Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. That was one of mine. So I'm glad you did because for a second you weren't taking any of mine.
14 to 37. He missed. He threw some footballs low. He was off target, folded under pressure. It's just how it is. So Jared Goff, dud. Absolute
That's
dud.
fair. Do you want me to go final dud? I think there's one more. Do you want me to go final? I'm going to go my final. If you have a final, just
That's
say
fine.
final dud. Okay. Final dud. Dan Campbell.
Oh, that was my final dud.
Final dud, Dan
We
Campbell.
agree. All right.
Yeah. I think that's the last dud. I don't think there was
Yeah.
any more duds. I think the final
Yeah.
dud is Dan Campbell. He's like the final boss. He sucked yesterday.
Yeah.
He was so bad yesterday.
Yep.
The man can't he can't, like, I think you said it best actually. He needs to be like a chameleon and he can't do it. He's like a chameleon that has never learned how to change skin color. He has no clue.
He doesn't know how to blend in with
Yeah,
environments.
he has no clue how to do it. And in specific games, we've talked about it. I think you brought it up 2 or 3 years ago to me one time, where it was like Dan Campbell has to go into certain games knowing, like, hey, I can win this way. And he said it at the beginning of this year too. I want to win in different ways, and he just wants to keep winning the same way. And it hurt him. Shot himself in the foot yesterday. And then there's going to be the people on different platforms and different media networks and different places that are going to go on today and say, if you want Dan Campbell when he goes 4 for 4 on fourth down, you need to be able to take him when he goes 0 for 5. Well, when you're 6-4 now and you just lost to another contending team and you went 0 for 5 on first down in a 1-possession game, in a game that had 25 total points, that's not your point. You can't just keep saying the same thing over and over again, that, oh, trust in Dan Campbell. Like, at some point people have to take responsibility. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
At some point.
I agree. It falls on the head coach. We talk about it. Responsibility, man. He's the
Can't
leader.
just keep being slappies about it.
When they win, he gets credit. When they lose, you got to mention Dan, man. It goes kind of both ways.
Especially when it does really actually fall on him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
when
We
Fourth
talk
down
about a
is
lot,
weird.
like Dan Campbell taking the blame for any game, which he does all the time. But when it actually falls on him,
Yeah,
tough
because
look.
fourth down calls, dude, players want to go for fourth down every time. It's fun. Everyone wants to go. It's up to the coach to determine whether it's smart or not. Like, I don't blame Goff and them for being like, we're going for it on fourth down. It's like, of course they want to stay on the field. It's the offense, man. They want to go for it. It's up to the coach to be like, nah, that's a dumb idea. Let's probably not do that. But he's Sirianni. They went for it once on fourth down. The dudes in the press conference after the game, like, basically, like, admit, yeah, it's on me. Like, we can't go for it on fourth down there. And Dan went for it 5 times in the same game. And Nick Sirianni's like, yeah, they know that was on me. I should have done it. It's like, bro, you went for it once. It was a tush push and you failed. I mean, it's like, okay. We're dealing with much bigger issues over here. All right, let's go to studs.
Stud for stud.
Stud for stud.
I think, okay, I'm just gonna say this. There's one player I think is untouchable for you that you cannot touch.
Why is that?
My player.
Oh, you go first then.
Well, no, I want to save him for the end. He deserves the end.
Oh, well, then I don't know. How do I know if it's the guy you have? You might as well just let it rip first. I might say it because I'm thinking of a guy.
He's the best defensive player on your team this year. He's going to get first team All-Pro at his position.
Okay, say it.
Jack Campbell.
Well deserved.
Jack Campbell is incredible, dude. I don't ask a lot for praise, Jeff. I want everyone to be like, Jack Campbell deserves all the praise. I want all and everyone that wants to give me praise for saying Jack Campbell's an All-Pro linebacker and laughed at me. I want you to take all that praise you were going to give me and give it to Jack. I think that's selfless of me. I think that's a good teammate move. But Jack Campbell had 15 tackles yesterday, total tackles.
That's
insane.
That's insane.
15 total. And he didn't just, I don't know if you saw the picture. Can we pull it up? Do you have the picture? I tweeted out on my Twitter. Do you want me to pull it, or can you pull it up?
I'll pull it up, yeah.
On my Twitter. Did you see this? Jack Campbell just single-handedly stopping the tush push.
Oh,
The fourth down.
Yeah, I did see that.
Him on fourth down. When they stopped at the tush push on fourth down, and everyone was like, how did they do that? Do you want to know how they did it? There was no secret to it. They have Jack Campbell. You don't.
They pushed his tush into the tush push.
Yeah. You have Jack Campbell. No one else does. It's that bottom. Look at this. Look at Jack Campbell just going head-to-head with Jalen Hurts. Look at him. Look at Jack Campbell just head-to-head with Jalen Hurts.
He's in there squaring off with Jalen Hurts.
It's just Jack Campbell versus Jalen Hurts on a fourth down. And what does he do? Stops him. Jack Campbell is one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now, man.
Yeah,
he is actually probably a top. People outside of Detroit won't say it. I'll say it. He's probably a top 5 linebacker if you could argue top 3.
Yeah, dude. This is an incredible photo. I'd get it if I were him. I'd get this one framed. I mean, it's just him going head to head with the tush push.
He already has 112 total tackles right now on the season, and you still have 7 games to go. Like, he's going to get 150 plus, if not more, because he averages almost 10 a game. He might be at 160 tackles this year, Jeff.
He had 4 stuffs in that game.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's most this season by him.
I would hate to be tackled by that guy.
Gives 4 sacks on the year, man. Like,
I would hate to be tackled by Jack Campbell. I think it's a well-deserved stud there. I'll go another one, and maybe I was thinking you were going to go somewhere else with it, but Jack Campbell, I totally forgot. It's a good one. I'm going to go Roy Lopez.
Oh, I love Roy, man.
Big Roy,
big Roy Lopez
in the
fan,
middle,
dude.
man.
He's so good, dude. How was he never a starter in the NFL before?
Lopez County, this guy, he just makes things happen over there. I mean, that's what he does. He had half a sack yesterday. He's up to a sack a year. I think he had a half a sack last game too against Washington. So he's had half a sack. He had 5 tackles against the Commanders. He fouls that up with a couple stuffs against the Eagles, man. He just gets his nose dirty, man. Roy Lopez just does the dirty work. And he's honestly outplaying some of your other defensive tackles. Like, he's playing some really good football. So they held Saquon to 3 a carry. You got to give credit to the big fella in the middle there. That big nose, man. I mean, that big nose tackle, Roy Lopez. So stud for stud. Give me Roy Lopez. All right.
I got one for you. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
This one. I don't think anyone saw this one coming. I'm going to go a corner.
You should do it.
I'm going to go Rocky Scene.
Love it.
Rocky Scene.
He didn't do nothing wrong at the end. He didn't do nothing wrong at the end.
I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Next Gen Stats tweeted this out.
Let me get rid of this. My bad.
Can you see this?
Yep.
In his this is for Rocky Scene. In his 3rd game of the season, or start of the season, faced off against A.J. Brown 19 times last night. 19.
Wow.
Allowed 4 receptions for only 39 yards on 8 targets. This is the incredible stat. Rocky Scene spent 19.4 seconds within 1 yard of A.J. Brown, which is the 2nd most time in tight coverage that Brown has ever faced, not just this year, in his career. 19 matchups, 14 of them as well, Jeff, man coverage you see here, only allowed 13 yards. Average time in tight coverage, 1.02 seconds. Tight windows forced, 5 out of those 8 targets.
Wow.
Incredible game from Rocky Scene, man. Incredible game.
Dude, he balled, man.
Yeah. He had himself, he stepped up.
Yeah, he stayed on A.J. Brown. I mean, A.J. had all the targets and catches, but he didn't have the yards. And
on top of that, he was 2nd in the team in tackles with 6, just behind Jack Campbell's 15. He was 2nd with 6. Same amount as – he had more solo tackles than Alex Anzalone yesterday. He had 5 solo tackles, 1 pass deflection. He had a great game. It was a great game. And he should have had that pass breakup at the end to force a 4th down.
Yeah, he should have had. That was not on him at the end. It was good coverage by him, and they just called the PI. It was like a ghost PI. There was nothing there, and he got punished for good coverage. So Rocky Scene deserves a lot of love, dude. He balled out. So shout out to him. I want them to keep him around. You keep that dude around a little bit. I don't mind. He hasn't really had a chance to find a home. Like in last.
I kind of like him as like our next man up.
Yeah, I do too. He's a good. He's a solid depth piece for sure.
Do you have another stud? Because I have one more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Honestly, I think we kind of did this. I mean, I could go 1 or 2 more. I'll do one that I think we have to just get out the way and give credit to. We did Dan Campbell. I'm going to go Calvin Shepard. I think that's a stud. Okay. We got to give him credit. That dude coached his fucking ass off. And honestly, I will say that the tush push, the anti-tush push, he's been working on that for years. They've been working on that for a long time, preparing for the Eagles, and it has to do with defensive linemen with a lot of leverage. Jack Campbell in there. It took the entire team, but that's coaching, man. Like Calvin Shepard had those guys ready. They had an excellent game plan. He had those guys prepared, and they executed at a high level. And Calvin's been doing that more often than not. So Calvin Shepard, you earned it. He's been an excellent defensive coordinator. And last night, dude, on a big stage against an offense that maybe they are struggling, but they have all the talent in the world. I thought schematically, dude, he had the Eagles in a pickle, dude. I mean, he had these guys confused as hell. Yeah, I'm in a pickle consistently. So give me Calvin Shepard. He's a stud. Give him some love.
Love that. I got one more. I'm gonna do the same thing as I just did before. Can I share my screen again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Amik Robertson.
Dude, they both were really good then.
Both corners. Amik, next gen stats. Amik held Devontae. I think Amik's arguably could be better. Held Devontae Smith without a catch on 3 targets across 15 matchup. He lined up against Devontae Smith, Jeff, 15 times. I know it says no catches on only 3 targets. 15 matchups, though. That means he was locking Devontae up to where Jalen Hurts could not throw him the ball.
And he's the leading receiver, top 10 in yards.
Yeah, Robertson stayed within 1 yard of Smith for one. This is the craziest part, too, here, Jeff. Stayed within Smith for 1 yard with 1.55 seconds per matchup. The longest average time in tight coverage in any wide receiver or corner matchup since at least 2018.
Sticky.
So he had himself a massive game. Look at that. 15 matchup, 9 in man coverage. Just had a head-to-head with Devontae Smith. He didn't give up 1 target in 15 matchups. Not one.
That's
not
insane.
one.
That's insane.
And out of the three times that they targeted him, 2 of them tight windows forced.
This actually pisses me off because the defense played so good. They should have won that game. Like they played literally a lights out performance. That was their best performance all year, in my opinion. Like terms of like personnel, like they matched up against star players and checked them all, and they lost. That's what pisses me off. Like Saquon checked, AJ Brown
scored 9 points.
Like Devonta Smith checked. Dallas Goedert, where did he go? He didn't even do anything, dude. And they lost. It's like that defense, dude. They played. I hate that. That sucks. Feels like a wasted defensive performance. It just sucks. They played so well, man. They really did. And didn't even have Kirby. We thought Kirby and TA would be. They didn't even. I will say, I thought they missed Laporta though on offense. For sure.
Yeah, a lot of people laughed at me. I didn't know if you saw some of the messages and some of the comments of when I put the video out with Laporta being like, hey, this is a big loss, bigger than people think based off of blocking and what Laporta is to this offense. And people are like, what are you talking about? You're an idiot. You're stupid.
They missed having Laporta out there.
And people are like, they're going to be just fine. All right. How did that work out?
Drop your mailbag questions, get them ready, fire them away as it relates to the game, the season, what you guys think of anything as it pertains to the Lions or anything, really. Drop the questions. And while you guys do that, you got to hear from our sponsor, Prestige Worldwide. We'll see you in a minute. I've interrupted the show to tell you about our friends over at Prestige Worldwide Vending. State-of-the-art vape vending machines that can boost sales to any venue, business owners, or anyone that has an establishment that customers are coming in and out of. Prestige Worldwide Vending can help not only attract new customers, but keep customers inside your establishment. Nicotine users that leave to go get nicotine, it'll be right in the place they're at. 32-inch touchscreen, customizable advertisement, which is sweet, by the way. Age verification software to scan IDs confirming age, pre-sale if required. You can pay cash, credit, debit, or mobile. Mobile payments are also accepted, and you get paid when they get paid. It's a win-win. You make your customers happy. You make money on the side. And of course, working with a company like Prestige Worldwide Vending, who is on the up and up, can only benefit your business. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show. Now let's get back to it. All right, mailbag. Get your questions ready. We'll do a longer mailbag, 50-minute mailbag. Tomorrow, Sam Flannel will be joining us. Wednesday with the DOC. We got packed shows this week. So the rest of the week will be live 8 to 10. So today we're doing a morning show. Talk to you guys, and then the next rest of the week we'll be back. But Donna, more of a statement, but Laporta got himself paid. It's Branch that will be the odd man out. Watch.
It's an interesting thought, seeing it. Yeah.
I mean,
wonder if Brad was too quick to pull the trigger on some of these contracts.
Yeah, it's like it's a
Based
balance
off.
between you want to pay or you want to get guys paid early, but then you also sometimes you let things kind of develop and you kind of see sometimes a clearer picture. Like in my opinion, I mean, I've already said it before, but I thought they paid Jameson with 2 years left to control before you even get to see what Isaac Tesla is. I don't think that was a weird one, but yeah,
I think
we'll
there's
see.
3 contracts right now on the books that I'm not going to say the 3. You can guess them, Jeff, if you want. Or
If they want to
people-
keep, they got to get rid of Decker. If they want to keep every one of these guys,
Yeah, but
Decker
I
makes
just
20 mil. I mean, they
yeah,
got.
but you guess what you haven't done? You haven't drafted another tackle, so you just
Well, yeah, now you don't have leverage. Yeah,
you just don't have. I mean, again, Brad's making these deals. He's writing deals to the devil and signing all this money over, and he doesn't really have a backup plan for other position groups, right? Unless he want it all doesn't add up at the end of the day when you actually break it down, especially after you see how bad the O-line is right now.
Purple Prince Mailbag. We are without a 3rd round pick this year, and Mailbag. And it seems like we need to revamp our offensive and defensive lines. Do you want Brad to trade back to acquire assets? I mean, well, maybe not now. Well, I'm not trying to be like pessimistic, but that 6-4 record, they're not going to have a 29th overall pick. I mean, they might have a top 20 pick.
Yeah, they might have a better pick than we actually are expecting.
So I don't know about trade back in the 1st round. I want to keep that pick because you trade. I mean, you draft in the top 20 that you can get some good players now.
You can get a good tackle. Get yourself a tackle.
Yeah, you can get some good players now. So I get what you're saying though, Purple Prince. I think the 3rd round picks kind of are. It does suck. You don't have any 3rd round picks, but I mean that's just like I don't know. They have a 2nd though? I mean, what do you want to trade back out of that? Maybe they trade back from that. They pick up but.
You've put yourself in a position, and I'm just going to put this quite frankly, where Brad's been very good at drafting, but what he hasn't been great at is assets in the draft. At times he has, but right now he hasn't. Like Javi Roseman was able to trade for Jalen Phillips because they had 3 thirds, right? I think this year. So like they were able to be like, okay. But that's like Javi Roseman over years, constantly trading back in different rounds, taking people's 3rds, taking people's 2nds, taking their 4ths. And building up the assets. Brad has yet to do that. I think, at least personally, I feel like
we're going to be without a 3rd. I don't have the picks in front of me, but they don't have.
He's done the opposite.
They don't have a 3rd, and that actually brings us to the next question. Get a boy Juan. Does Brad go OT with the 15th pick? I think they have the 15th pick right now, which I think will increase. It'll probably be in the 20s, low 20s.
That's a 15th pick. Get a boy Juan.
That's really tough right now. Yeah,
Oh, if we had the 15th pick, I would cry.
I will say if they're like somewhere, they got to take a tackle in the 1st round, bro. You don't have a choice. I mean, that's just, and I know Brad's, we don't prioritize positions. There's going to be some good tackles this year. So, unless Brad doesn't feel like there is a good tackle, but that's a premium position. If you're going to draft a tackle, typically they're going in the 1st round, unless you get lucky. But usually tackles are 1st round guys. It's usually how that goes. So, or 2nd. I guess. But yeah, I think they should take a tackle. I think
you need a tackle in 2nd round. You need to go interior.
Yeah, build up the O-line. I mean, that's what they got to do. Rebuild it up. They invest in capital. Keep investing capital in it. I mean, you have to. It's not even a debate there. Motor City Street Scene. Lane Johnson out 4 to 6 weeks with Liz Frank sprain and foot. Big deal for Eagles going forward. I mean, it is a big deal.
Now, how does that affect us? I'm just kidding. Shout out Motor City Street Scene.
I mean, it didn't affect him last night. He
that
was
would have
out.
been sick. I mean, not sick, but that would have been nice if it was last week and he just wasn't playing at all yesterday. That helped us.
He didn't play for half the game, and it didn't even matter.
Still didn't help us.
Yeah, what's his name? Fred
Johnson. It's like Fred Claus.
Let me see. Fred Claus. Fred Johnson. Who's that? He's 6'7". I mean, this guy.
Oh, what?
Oh.
I'm sorry. That was bad.
No, but he's 6'7", and he's I mean, he did pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He did pretty good. Did pretty good, man. I can't say nothing about Fred Johnson.
Fred Johnson versus Hutch. Backup tackle. I thought Hutch takes advantage of backups tackles. Barely not.
No, not. He did a good job last night, bro. It's just how it goes. People are talking about Goff's contract.
Yeah, it's gonna get it's gonna get restructured. You're gonna end up having golf longer, right? Like that's why I think a lot of people need to just buckle down. Like Jared Goff's here for a long time, man. If you want to try and even like you're put in a position to where you have to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. There's no like, hey, go trade Goff, go get into it. If that decision's made, it's made at the end of this season because you have to restructure. And as soon as you restructure, guess what that does? Locks him in longer. Probably not tradable at that point. So
yeah, you don't even want to. I mean, you wouldn't even want to move on from Goff because, like, what else are you? I mean, what's the plan? I mean, what? It seems like you're reacting off emotion.
you have to win with Jared Goff. That's why people like it's like people that are mad and they hate Goff. You figure out your feelings.
You're just reacting emotionally.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it's not the right way to kind of approach that, to be honest with you. So, yeah, you don't trade Goff without a solution. You just don't trade him because he's not mobile. Trade him. Dom, this is my example. Mailbag, Jeff, when are we going to blame the player that talks after every single game, the leader, Jared Goff? He deserves blame. I don't know what you mean. Dom, he deserves blame. I mean, he didn't.
I don't think anyone's taking blame away from Goff. I think it's the O-line. I think it's Jared Goff. I think it's Dan Campbell.
Yeah, it's multiple things. I think Goff. The problem though, Dom, that you would run into with that narrative is Goff. The people that could defend Goff would say, well, the O-line's been significantly worse, and Goff's still playing really well on the year. You know, he's playing really well this year. So it's I mean, he has 21 touchdowns, 4 picks. So your argument would be more valid if he was like 17 touchdowns, 15 picks. We could have that conversation, but he's actually playing really well. Now, I will say his ill mobility or his lack of mobility is a problem. It sucks, but you're stuck with him, and he's the last of a dying breed, which is stagnant, anti-mobile quarterbacks.
Anti-mobile.
He's anti-mobile.
Oh, dude, that's actually really funny, man.
He's the opposite of mobile. Stagnant. So I get why that would frustrate people, but you don't have a choice, man. What are you going to do?
Anti-mobile is so good.
He's anti-mobile. You're looking at the guy that thought Hendon Hooker was the franchise. So, I mean, I'm telling you right now, you're stuck with Goff. So, this is how it is. And honestly, he's not that bad. He's a top 8 quarterback. So, it's like it could be worse. It could be way worse for sure. Like if he's the biggest problem here, I mean, you got other issues here. Irv Gotti says, tough to hear Dan's press conferences. He says the same thing after each loss. Say same thing, expecting different results is insanity. Yeah, I mean, to your point about doing the same thing, expecting different results, it is the aggressiveness. that is kind of the. I mean, if we look at historically, Dan Campbell in big games being aggressive, super hyper aggressive, it usually doesn't end very well.
No.
I mean, so maybe that's something that Dan has to learn. It's like, although it is my identity, maybe we need to be a little smarter in certain games. Or maybe we need to, like I mentioned earlier, be more of a chameleon and blend in with the type of game it is. Maybe we don't have to just be aggressive, full send Dan Campbell. You know, that's just how it is. And by the way, people talking about Denver with Russell Wilson. Jared Goff is not Russell Wilson in Denver. Dude, Russell Wilson in Denver was so bad.
That's such like Jared Goff. Listen, the guy was just an MVP conversation last year. A couple of weeks ago, that man was in that conversation.
Yeah, that's not even a good comparison, guys.
What are we talking about? Before this game, people were having that conversation about him.
And you're talking, again, Mr. Hendon Hooker here, and I'm saying that's a terrible thing. It's a terrible comp. I mean, Russell Wilson was dead in the water. That he's dead. Russell Wilson was dead in the water. He couldn't play at all.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even the same. He wasn't operating the offense like Goff has this year. Like he just hasn't. And I know he's had bad games. I get it. He's gonna struggle, but that's not the same thing. And also Denver they drafted Bo Nix early. And obviously Bo Nix has not been that good, but they had a plan. They had a contingency there. They want to go with the young quarterback. The Lions don't have a plan B. I mean, what are you gonna do? Be in quarterback purgatory for the next couple of years? I mean, what are we doing, guys? I mean, it's just not. They're stuck with Goff. It's just a reality. You're not going to do nothing. You're not going to cut him. You're not going to trade him. Nothing. I mean, what are they? Unless you
There's
draft a
nothing. There's
quarterback-
what's like what. There's no. The only I actually I did bring up the one conversation. The only thing that you could probably argue, but again, if you restructure his deal, it's who's going to make this trade. It's like trading him for like making that Jared Goff Stafford trade again. Like if Brad kind of redoes that with Goff, and he goes, okay, we're going to flip Goff for assets and another quarterback that's down. Who was the quarterback that I brought that up with earlier this year? Do you remember? Or early in the offseason? Do you remember the quarterback, by the way? This is like a good test. This is like a pop quiz.
Stay with me. CJ Stroud?
No. There was a quarterback before this year was struggling.
I don't know.
You got it. You know it. You know it.
Herbert?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Oh. I'm good.
I said that in the off season. That wasn't.
Yeah, that was before this year.
That was more so like, hey, if Brad was to do that, a player that struggled, that has talent, where you're like, can I flip a bunch of picks and can I add a bunch of assets based off of that with a quarterback that has talent but hasn't reached the potential? Listen, I'm not saying I would want that to happen. This was just early. This was early, like maybe a year ago.
Yeah, that's just.
Adonis said Malik Willis. Bring that man. Hey, bring Malik Willis home.
Malik Willis, no. He actually didn't play too bad in the spot he came in.
No, threw a touchdown
ran
pass
for like 20 yards, ran the offense, and then threw a touchdown. But yeah, no. If you can get Joe Burrow, I would trade every single first round pick we have. If you can get Joe Burrow, but that's not going to happen. So yeah, it's just not. And Joe Burrow, I mean, he's a little more mobile, but he's just a better quarterback, but he's still more stagnant. He's a little mobile though. I've seen him scramble.
Joe can move, but he just always hurt. So it's
There's the thing with like quarterbacks that can move. Like Justin Herbert, would you say he can move? Like he's a little more mobile. Dude, he got sacked, pressured like 48% of dropbacks yesterday, and they lost. Like even mobile guys, you have to protect them, man. Like Yeah,
I think just number one priority just needs to be.
He can't bail. He can't like escape. Like he's not. He can't escape. He's done. If you pressure him, he's screwed.
But I think that just comes back to it. Realistically, just you got to get this. Like Brad has to figure out this offensive line, man. Like the fact that he just hasn't addressed it is. Well, he has, but he just addressed it way too late for a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
And he just never addressed center. Just never.
Like the fact that we're basically depending on Miles Frazier to come. Like he's a rookie. Like we need Miles Frazier to be like
Tate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
a 6th or 7th round pick and Christian Mahogany would be like, you got
6
this.
or 7? Easy. It was cool to finally meet you guys in person this weekend. Way taller in person.
Oh, Easy was so funny, man. Easy is one of the funniest humans of all time.
Oh my gosh, man! The boys had a great time. We had a great time hanging out with it. I mean, it was
all the boys, man. It was good to see everyone.
We went out for Flannel's birthday. We had the boys out there. Easy, Spenny, Nick, Chris. Caleb came out. Me and you were out. I missed anyone? No, that was like the all the boys that it was fun. It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it was the old crew, man. It was a good time.
Hey, I will say we'll be live. We are doing an exception today. I know it probably threw some people off, but it'll be all right. It was the morning show. We wanted to change it up a little bit, but the rest of the week we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming, 8 to 10 p.m. Like I said, Flannel's joining us tomorrow. We'll have the doc on Wednesday. Packed week of shows up until this Giants game this weekend. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also get your merchandise, officialctsports.com. But until tomorrow, I will catch you all.
Super Bowl 2026.
Wow.